and welcome to the October edition of the SSIS of the Coffee Talk on SSIS Learning and Development Present and Future. I am your host, Ross Stack. I am one of the e-learning instructional designers on the Learning and Development team, the support group. And we have an action-packed agenda today, so I'm going to get right into what the agenda is going to be for today and get us going. So as you can see, we're going to start out with housekeeping and the Tennyson warning, and we're going to get into modernization, paperwork reduction, AFCAR's update, fiscal updates, adult protection SSIS user guide updates, the mentor of the month, SSIS learning and development mission and statement. We're going to introduce the SSIS learning and development team, user support, leaning into innovation, adult protection learning resources, fiscal learning resources, SSIS Essentials, the new look, and SSIS Mentor e-learning series. As always, our housekeeping is attendants have been muted upon entry. To speak, please raise your hand using the reaction emoji at the bottom of your screen, and you'll be unmuted. Questions can also be submitted using the chat feature, which will be monitored by our staff. Closed captioning can be enabled using the CC button located on the bottom left of your screen. This session is being recorded and will be posted on the Minnesota Child Welfare Training Academy website in the near future. A follow-up document will also be prepared and distributed to attendees 7 to 10 days following this event. Here's the Tennyson warning. I'm going to give you a couple of moments here to read it so you understand what's going to go on. And we show this because, as I said earlier, this will be recorded. Hopefully that was enough time for you to read through the Tennyson warning. Let's get started. We're going to begin with our update from Cynthia. Take it away, Cynthia.
Morning, everybody. Thank you so much, Ross. Happy to be here. I wanted to give a few updates similar to what I did last month and we'll be doing going forward. First, related to following up from the SSIS Child Protection Paperwork Review that was completed in May. Just for an update for the items related to that review and kind of where we are with those things. In the next release, 24/4, we're going to have 7 items primarily related to staff activity, chronology, and user activity log as enhancements that have gone in. So these are all items that were prioritized due to that child protection review. We had one in the previous release. And also wanted to give an update related to out-of-home placement plan changes. As I mentioned last month, and folks may have heard other places, there's been a lot of work going on between SSIS and the Child Safety and Permanency Foster Care team, particularly Nicole Needham and Erica Jepson, who have led the work to really streamline out-of-home placement plan, reducing them significantly to really what's statutorily required, and rearranging them really to better meet the needs of the people who have to use them, primarily our parents and children that we are serving, but also workers who are responsible for getting those completed. And they've done a significant amount of feedback sessions related to that work, parent attorney, guardian ad litems, and so on and so forth. Right now we are, as I mentioned last month, looking at multiple options concurrently for how to really solution for meeting the need to improve the out-of-home placement plan, but also understanding that we have limitations with that functionality in SSIS as it currently is. So one of the things that we are working on now, and we'll be soliciting some more feedback and partnership from folks at local agencies, is working on a potential third-party application that might interface with SSIS as an interim solution as we work towards modernization. In some other updates related to pre-modernization, our activities. First, again, we have an external vendor that is here assessing the current system and looking at performance. You guys, many of you are aware of some of the updates that have happened. I know Dave and Janelle on our Thursday meetings have mentioned many things, and we've had conversations around some of those items. And some of those are technical changes, small technical changes that have been the result of that that vendor and that assessments that is going on. And the second piece for external vendors is a overall assessment, and that's still in process for getting a vendor. It is a very lengthy, involved, multi-step process.
Is that it, Cynthia? Are we having technical difficulties with you?
Yep, I think I'm having some technical difficulties.
You're coming in, but you've got an echo right now. Shake your head if we should move on.
We can move on.
Okay.
I'll put some notes in the chat.
Okay,
Sorry.
sounds good. Our next presenter will be Allie. Allie, go ahead and take it away with the AFCARS Corner.
All right, good morning, everybody. My name is Allie Testmart, and I'm one of the subject matter experts on the business operations team working on AFCARS. Many of you are familiar with AFCARS and the work that we've been doing over the last several months. But today we wanted to take a look at the comparison of where we were with AFCARS compliance in July of 2024, when we originally started out sending emails to agencies requesting that you fix any AFCARS errors that you had, versus where we are this month in October of 2024. As you can see from the photo on the slide here, there has been notable improvement from the July compliance run to the October compliance run. And we just wanted to extend our thanks and gratitude to all of the agencies who assisted in getting these errors corrected within their agencies. It's very clear that your work is making a difference. So thank you for that. So there are two elements that we're non-compliant in that require either 100% compliance or that we still need agencies to be correcting errors for. Many agencies got another email within the last week or two regarding E71 due to that element still being very high in non-compliance. We're asking that agencies please take the time to correct these errors as soon as possible so that they can be counted in the final submission of the 2024A file in November. Although there are still other elements on the list showing as non-compliant, we believe that with some minor SSIS changes by our minute partners, we will be able to get these into compliance as well. We also ask that agencies continue to run the repository and work to fix any other AFCARS related errors before the end of October to help ensure that any missing information needed is corrected before we resubmit the 24A resubmission and the initial 24B submission. All right. And then we are very excited to announce that our 24A adoption file was submitted in October and was compliant. This is our first compliant AFCARS adoption file to date. This is good news. However, in order to be compliant as a state, we need both the adoption file and the out-of-home care file to be compliant for each reporting period to avoid fiscal penalties. As I mentioned earlier, our team is working behind the scenes to make some changes in SSIS, as well as continuing to work with agencies one-on-one to get the last few non-compliant elements from the 24A out-of-home care file into compliance prior to the final submission in November of 2024. Also, please join us for the November Coffee Talk to learn about the new SSIS repository errors and enhancements that are being added to the 24.4 release. And with that, I will pass it over to Carrie.
Good morning. My name is Carrie. I am an SSIS fiscal subject matter expert and trainer. I just wanted to talk about a few fiscal issues we have seen. SSIS has discovered a problem with clearing that was caused by the new MinChoices revision project work. MinChoices is now allowing a new gender fields and is not required a gender to be added when a new client is added into their system. As a result, clients added to Swindex from MinChoices can be added as an existing client from the state detail in SSIS. This allows clients to be cleared to the county with a PMI number and no gender selected. This is a problem for the healthcare claiming batches in SSIS because Minute and MMIS require a client gender to be associated to the claim. Without a gender selected and cleared to the county client, a claim batch including this client will result in a transmission error. This will require a manual data fix to set the batch back to draft status, and the client must be re-cleared with the gender selected before MMIS will accept the batch. We are recommending that the gender field is added to the clearing log. This should be reviewed by the staff who does the clearing in your agency. If the gender is missing, be sure it is added to the client record before clearing to the county database. SSIS has discovered an intermittent issue affecting some agencies when they are processing adjusted reversal and correcting entries in SSIS. Agencies are seeing pop-up error box indicating that a space is being added on the vendor names when no changes were made to the vendor by the agency. The issue blocks you from doing the reversal corrected entry. Currently, there is no workaround. You will need to submit a ticket to SSIS Help Desk for a data fix. Please include a screenshot of the error along with other identifying information such as SSIS person ID number, payment number, along with the permission for the data fix. We are also asking you to please submit a separate ticket for each occurrence. And with that, I will pass it along to Heidi. Oh, maybe not.
Yeah, there's a little bit of change in the in the order here, so it is going to be passed to Anna for adult protection.
Thank you, Ross. Good morning, everyone. My name is Anna Chalupka. I am a SSIS trainer with the user support team. Just a quick update regarding the Adult Protection SSIS User Guide. So on September 26, 2024, the Adult Protection SSIS User Guide Appendix B, SDM, Intake Assessment Tool Screening Decision section has been updated. The following instructions have been added to that section. I've added how to complete a request for an agency override, how to assign an approver, how to approve or deny an override request for supervisors, and then also how to complete the tool when an override is denied. Next slide. With these screenshots on the top right is an example of the header tool where a supervisor or a designated AP staff approved the override request. The bottom right screenshot is an example of the header tool where the supervisor or designated AP staff denied the override request. Now, if it's denied, there are additional steps needed in order to complete the tool. And so please refer to the Adult Protection SSIS User Guide, Appendix B, which starts on page 119, for more information about the supervisor override. I will also put a link on the Adult Protection SSIS User Guide on the chat. All right, thank you.
Great, thanks, Anna. Has there been any questions in the comment or anything yet that we should address?
Don't see any, Ross.
All right, good. Then we will move on and we're going to go to the ever popular Mentor of the Month. Take it away, Heidi.
Awesome. Thanks, Ross. Good morning, everybody. Our Mentor of the Month is Iceni County's Sharon Renberg. Sharon was nominated by Mary Halata, Jeanette Danielson, and Penny Messer. Per Jeanette, we'd like to nominate Sharon as Mentor of the Month in recognition of her exceptional dedication and service as a case aide and SSIS mentor over the past 20 plus years. Sharon's unwavering commitment to her role is evident in everything she does. She consistently goes above and beyond to provide technical assistance, support social workers, and keep everyone informed about updates from the state. Her invaluable contributions to the Children's Services Unit are evident in her proactive approach to completing tasks and projects, often taking initiative without being asked. Even when faced with challenges or frustrations expressed by workers, Sharon maintains her composure and focuses on finding solutions. Sharon's willingness to invest extra time in guiding individuals through SSIS issues is remarkable. She stays abreast of all system changes and communicates updates promptly to all users. Additionally, her mentorship has been instrumental for a new mentor as she has generously shared her expertise and answered all questions with patience and a positive attitude. Sharon's approachability and respectful handling of every inquiry, no matter how small, combined with her ability to balance her regular duties with her mentoring responsibilities, truly set her apart. We are deeply grateful for Sharon's unwavering support and dedication. Thank you, Sharon, for all you do for us every day. Your efforts are greatly appreciated. And thank you from all of us in business operations, Sharon, because we appreciate your willingness and dedication towards being an SSIS mentor. If anybody else has anyone they'd like to nominate for Mentor of the Month, please feel free to send me an email and we will do what we can to recognize that person's efforts. So with that, I'll pass it back to Ross.
Thanks, Heidi. Congratulations, Sharon, and thanks to those that nominated her. Without them, we wouldn't know the great work that Sharon's been doing. We are going to go now to our fearless leader, Eric Kratt.
Thank you so much, Ross. Really appreciate everybody being here. Also really appreciate you, Sharon, and all of the mentors, coordinators, and supervisors out there that deal with SSIS and the customers that use SSIS on a daily basis. So a huge thank you to all of you and your continued efforts to understand this system. So the bread and butter of today's webinar is to meet the learning and development team. And as you can see on this slide, it consists of the learning and development team, including myself. My name is Eric Kratt, and I'm the SSIS User Support Supervisor. We also have Anna Chalupka, who is SSIS Curriculum and Training. She does a lot of our adult protection training as well as updating materials. And she also consults and influences how we train for child protection over the years. We have a newly added body to our learning and development team by the name of Carrie Kaiser. We've introduced her in the past, but her focus is going to be on the fiscal module or various fiscal modules, I should say, within the SSIS system. Then up on the top right of this slide, we have Renetta Walk, and she is also SSIS curriculum and training, and she's sort of our veteran staff. She's been with us the longest. She's been through it all of the tested measures used to train agencies. So she's got quite a variety of information to help guide us and make sure we're staying on the right track. And then we have two amazing e-learning instructional designers. The first one is Jason Dalrymple. He is the curator of the SSIS Essentials, as well as some other things. And then we have Ross, Radio Ross, I should say, when he's not DJing or emceeing the coffee talks, he is e-learning developer. And he is responsible for our CP basics modules, or our CP permanency basics modules, as well as some of those physical modules out there. And he'll talk to you a little bit later in the presentation to go over some things that he's working on for the future. So this is the team, and you've heard a couple of them talk already, but they're going to take over in just a little bit, so you don't have to hear me talk the whole time. So I wanted to introduce our agency partners out there with a mission and vision that we just created to help guide us in our work forward into the future. And I'll just read that verbatim to you. The mission of the Social Services Information System Learning and Development Team is dedicated to providing effective, engaging, and equitable learning solutions using innovative methods and best practices to enhance our partners' proficiency with SSIS. And our vision for the next couple of years will be that we will offer outstanding strategic and scalable solutions focused on the needs of our audience, using modern methods and technologies while creating a collaborative and equitable environment that maximizes learner potential. The next thing I wanted to talk to you about is the framework that we use, that we will use moving forward in terms of our learning and development materials for SSIS. And we really lean into adult learning principles. We realize that adults learn best when it's self-directed and there's motivation to learn. When the training or learning and development information has relevance to the work that they do at their agencies. If they have a need for help or mentorship, they learn best. There has to be a readiness to learn in order for information learned to stick. And then we also learn a lot from experiencing the system in our day in and day out jobs. There's a need for a safe environment, and then there's the importance for motivation as well. Motivation is key for adult learners, so it's important to provide a reason for every activity or module that they're learning. Based on feedback from our old classroom training evaluations and surveys, attendees weren't really looking for an end-to-end demonstration of SSIS. They were looking more for relevance to the functions they perform within the system. So we as a team are striving for an ability to launch relevant resources, as well as encourage SSIS mentors and coordinators to know where to find relevant and targeted resources to better support SSIS users at their agencies, whether these resources be via our affiliated websites, such as our SSIS resource page, or our partnership with the Child Welfare Training Academy, whether that information be through archived coffee talks or our new engagement site, which I'll go over a little bit in this presentation. Whether it's through self-directed data entry, which we will go over again later in this conversation, whether it's getting assistance via the SSIS help desk, or via training and technical support requests, again, to be discussed later. So before we move on, I want to play a game with you all just to kind of gauge whether or not you're paying attention. So every time you hear the words coming soon, I want you to hit your laugh emoji. And Daisy here on this slide is showing you where that laugh emoji is located. For further direction, it's going to be in your task panel down at the bottom of the screen. You'll see a smiley face with a plus sign. So I see people are following along. That's good. Every time you hear the word coming soon, hit your laugh emoji. All right, that's the secret word of the day or secret phrase of the day. Look at all those smiley faces. All right, so coming soon. We're going to use a platform called Engagement HQ that will both package SSIS learning resources and opportunities in different ways, as well as provide opportunities to engage with our SSIS coordinator and mentor population by using news feeds, surveys, idea boards, forums. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to steal the screen from Ross just to kind of give everybody an overview of what our prototype looks like at this time. So I don't know if I can completely take over, but I'm going to try.
Would you like me to stop sharing first?
Let's see if this works. Can everybody see my screen? So this is, give me a thumbs up. All right, thanks, Heidi. So this is the Department of Children, Youth and Families website called Engagement HQ. A lot of organizations like municipalities or county agencies, tribal agencies or state agencies use this site to provide information regarding specific projects and also engage the population that they're serving to get ideas from them or announce specific information about what the project is at hand. So just to go over this a little bit, it's really just taking information from PartnerLink and organizing it in a little bit of a different way to help our mentors and coordinators find information a little bit easier. So the overall architecture of the page will be just kind of a welcome to our SSIS mentors and coordinators to describe, what the newly refurbished SSIS business section and training section is all about. Over here on the right-hand side, you'll see some widgets that will point you to update archives, pilot and release information about our Paperwork Reduction Act and the follow-up regarding that. So anytime an update is provided at one of our coffee talks regarding the CP Paper Reduction Act, that will be posted on the right-hand side under this widget so people can kind of follow along. And then we just continue on with some staff bios for everybody who's in the SSIS business section and sort of what their role is in our section. If you glance over here to the left-hand side of the screen, you'll get some resources and information. This is just repackaging our documentation resources and providing you with a little explanation as to what you're going to find under each one of these links. You can hit the continue reading button to get the full list. There's information about how to contact the help desk and who can contact the help desk, as well as some recorded webinar information related to some frequently seen tickets at our help desk and resolution around those. And then again, you can continue reading to get the full list of information. So we'll have a list of news feeds here on some hot topic areas, including mentor and coordinator information. Right now, AFCARS is really kind of a high priority. So I've carved out a section on this page to cover, what we're looking for with that. Family First Prevention Services Act is still a project that, we're working on and launching and enhancing. And then links to past coffee talks here as well. So this is kind of the prototype that we set up. Additionally, we can use the Engagement HQ site to engage with our mentor and coordinator population. For example, this is just an example. It's not the final product, but maybe we want some coffee talk ideas from you. We want to petition our mentors and coordinators to give us some ideas. So they can click on this button and you can add those ideas in a post-it note, and anytime an idea is added, we'll be notified that an idea was added for us to discuss. We can also have forums where we engage with a large body of people, our mentors and coordinators mainly, to talk about, hot topic issues or, get feedback on certain subject matter. So this is all pretty brand new. But we wanted to figure out a new way to interact with our mentors and coordinators, outside of email and outside of the SSIS update alone. We want our mentors and coordinators to have their fingers on the pulse of what's trending and all the latest information using this site. And more information will come regarding this site with some follow-up directions on where to locate the site and where to find specific information. So I'm going to pass it back to you, Ross. Another thing that we're working on the learning and development team, mainly Renetta and myself, is standing up. So again, we see the coming soon here. So if you're paying attention, coming soon, Renetta and I will be launching the agency training or SSIS sandbox. Good job, everybody. Good job. Certain agency mentors or coordinators will be able to access the training environment. We are offering the use of the agency training environment to agencies that do not have a county test environment. Agencies can designate 1 or 2 mentors for us to add to the training environment Active Directory. We would encourage mentors or coordinators who spend a lot of time training staff at their agency to consider being their agency's designee. And the agency mentors or coordinators can then provide temporary access to trainees at their agencies to walk through some of the functionality in the SSIS worker application. There are, however, some limitations to what our training database can do and cannot do. One of the limitations includes this application's ability to mimic claiming or client eligibility interfaces, as we are not able to replicate the interface with Maxis and MMIS to perform these functions. However, many basic functions can be performed in the environment and can allow agency mentors and coordinators to walk new workers through the application. Mentors may also wish to use the training environment to set up temporary test data to test functionality outside of their production environment. So watch for training announcements and material in the future that will cover more details about the use of this environment. And we'll make those announcements either via the Engagement HQ site once we get that launched or in the SSIS update. All right, continuing our path as we lean into innovation and our newly created mission and vision statement, we're also working on a cross-sectional agency and technical assistance request enhancement. As the slide says, we want to ensure that SSIS mentors and coordinators are equipped with the knowledge of potential training resources and equipped with the ability to request technical assistance regarding knowledge gaps that they may be experiencing in terms of SSIS functionality or processes. So coming soon, our plan is to achieve this through a needs assessment, needs analysis, resourcing, targeted response, and coordination of support, and continued evaluation of our processes. So when we get this process ironed out, and I anticipate that there are more conversations to come with the team that is assembled to create this process or sort of revamp it, we will make that announcement in an SSIS to update or via the Engagement HQ site and invite people to be part of the conversation. So the past 3 slides, I've just been talking about, the ways in which we've been leaning into innovation in terms of our communications and our efforts to strengthen your ability at the agency to train your staff. And now I'm going to turn it over to Renetta for some more coming soon information.
Great, thank you, Eric. So this slide, as you can see, and you all have been putting those laugh emojis up for us, so that's great. It just simply says coming soon. So we want you to reimagine the way that we deliver and develop our CP Basics trainings. We are designing the CP Basic courses as an introduction to child welfare and child protection navigation and data entry in SSIS. Learners will experience a training suite that covers a wide range of required SSIS data entry and navigation tips for child protection intake, assessment, and case management work groups. These trainings are instructor-led demonstrations, so we're still going to be online for the most part, but they will contain a blended instruction throughout each course. So there'll be different micro learnings and videos and other interactive components to the training. So we're pretty excited about this. You will have small and large group work that we'll do in some of these trainings, and we think they're pretty engaging and interactive. And we hope to support your learning needs as we continue to move forward. And when we are ready to roll this out, you will certainly hear from our team, and we're pretty excited about it. So we'll see where that goes. All right, thanks, Ross. You've already moved me to the next slide. This slide is more about choose your adventure. This is our campaign for the CP Basics curriculum. So our new design is an a la carte style approach to training. This approach is great for busy workers, those new to SSIS, anybody wanting a refresher course, anyone who just want extra practice or just want to enhance their knowledge, right? So you have that as an option. And then what about flexibility? Do you need flexibility in your training schedule? The CP Basics redesign works for that as well. Our new approach allows workers to take any courses in any order and attend child protection basic courses that do not require a full day away from the office anymore, so that you can spend more of your time working with Minnesota families and children. So we're super excited about this. We really are. And keep in mind that these courses will now be shorter in duration, but there will be multiple options that you can choose from. So what about training needs? Do you need training on SSIS intake, assessment, case management, data entry, or general SSIS navigation? Well, you've come to the right place. These lessons will vary in length, scope, our scope will be based on the associated case study, which will provide greater learning specificity and flexibility. For example, if you only need to learn about data entry required during the intake work group or the intake process, then you may choose to take only the intake courses. However, you are absolutely welcome to take as many of these courses as desired to increase your proficiency and knowledge of SSIS. Next slide. So slides 24 through 37, I'm going to focus on our CP resources. So I'll briefly review the resources because they can be a little tricky to locate on our SSIS resource page because they're located in multiple places. I will use this time to review some of the options that you're going to find under each of the areas that I have highlighted on the screen. And I'm not going to read through all of them because we're going to go through them over the course of the next several slides. But the thing I want you to remember is that the child protection resources are available to all staff. They're not only available to the CP workers, so anybody can take these, any trainings that are offered online, anyone can access our documentation, etc. So the resources are available. Next slide. So the SSIS Essentials e-learning page, as shown on the screen, is an excellent starting point for new child protection staff to get acquainted with the SSIS application. This page has descriptions and registration information for the available training modules in the Essentials e-learning suite. And we also have an SSIS Essentials user guide that is available to summarize and supplement what you will learn in the SSIS Essentials curriculum. So for today, I'm going to default to my colleague Jason, who will be coming up shortly to give more information about the SSIS Essentials and the work that he's doing on that project. So stay on the call throughout the end of today's session because we don't want you to miss Jason's update. So here, the next option on our resource page is the SSIS Pilot and Release Training page. So as you all know as mentors, that SSIS has a release every quarter. The release information is not only useful to the mentors, but workers may access these resources as well. I'm going to point your attention to the table that displays in the center of the SSIS Pilot and Release Training page. This table identifies the SSIS version, and that's the year and the quarter for the release. There are release notes, and that provides details of each release. So we have the what's new. Workers should check the what's new to view any CP-related changes in an individual release. The what's new is also accessible from the SSIS application. So they don't have to leave the application to find out what happened in a new release. And they can do that by accessing the help icon or the help menu on the Windows and the application toolbars respectively when they're in the application. We also have on this page release notes. And the release notes provides more details about the changes that occurred during a specific release. And then there are the known defects. Now, this is another great resource because it lists some of the bugs that we are already aware of. And there are also some common workarounds that may also be listed. So you may be able to take a look at this, or workers can look at this. Maybe they can resolve some issue they're having without having to call the help desk. This resource is available, and it's available to everyone. Next, we have training materials on this page, and this will provide a list of links to the presentations and other resources for release-related documentation. So the example on the screen, it shows release version 24.2 and 24.1. Both have additional training materials such as job aids or a PowerPoint presentation. So workers can always access this information. Next slide. We are looking at the SSIS webinar materials page. And this page contains links to our SSIS coffee talks, which we're on one of those calls right now. And it also has a link to the Minnesota Child Welfare Training Academy webpage, where workers can access presentations, handouts, on-demand training videos, and other resources. So we do encourage folks to take a look at this page, explore, and see what's available. Next slide. This brings us to the SSIS worker documentation page, and this is where we house our written instruction for data entry based on functionality within the application. And Eric kind of spoke about the functionality and workers really kind of wanting to know, what do I need to do this particular action in SSIS? They can certainly find job aids and other modules that will support that step-by-step instruction. This worker documentation page not only provides the steps, the how-to, but it also gives an example of the why. So on the screen right now, we have an example of the available options under admin. Workers would review the document title, and we have several titles on this page, and they are listed in alphabetical order. So find what they're looking for by the title, and then beneath the title, locate which functionality or feature they want more information on. Click on that document, and that will open a PDF or a Word document that workers can use to further enhance or understand, or just use the steps to know how to do their work. So again, we're looking at the admin option on this screen, but if a worker wanted to see, for example, what's this participants folder all about? When I expand that in SSIS, I see several folders there or nodes. This is overwhelming. What do I do? They can certainly go to this worker documentation page, scroll down to the participant folder title, and beneath that, there is a participant entry module, which was recently updated, and they can take a look at all of the current folders that display and get more information. And again, the how to and the why behind the data entry for each of those folders that display under that participants node in SSIS. So the important takeaway here is that the documentation page is updated at various times. So there's not a standard time that we add new documentation to this page. So watch for articles that may come out in the SSIS update or any release information, or just check this page periodically so that you can see when we post any updated or newly created SSIS documentation. Next slide, Ross.
I think there was a question in the comments that might be
Okay,
related to this. So let's have Eric,
Yep.
and I think he already answered it, but I think it might be something good to share with the whole group.
So Jeanette asks, on the SSIS webinar page, is there a way to have a date listed as well? This is helpful if we were out on a particular date to view that coffee talk later on. Hope that makes sense.
Yes, thank you for that question. We are in the process of not only adding something that ties, you'll see when we get to some of the next slides, you'll see dates on that, but we want to not only have a date, but add any agenda or any details so that workers can kind of look quickly and see what's available there just at a quick glance. So that they're not having to dig into the documentation to find the information. So that is coming soon. So I should see some more laughy emojis popping up on my screen here. And we're
Cassie sorry to interrupt. Cassie put a pro tip in the chat as well when opening a training document. If you don't immediately find the specific steps you're looking for, to hit the Control F to search the document for keywords to bring you to exactly what you're looking for. So I just wanted to share that out loud too.
Well, thanks for that, Cassie. I think that is a great recommendation. It sometimes beats Google search, and I know as a former worker, that's what happens sometimes. So hopefully, when we get through all of these slides here, we'll be in a better position where you can tell folks what's available for them on this resource page from us as well. So I'm pretty excited about that, but Control F, remember that. Okay, so we've moved on to the SSIS Coffee Talk archive page. And this opens to our partnering Minnesota Child Welfare Training Academy's webpage. The image on the screen highlights two areas of interest. You can certainly read through everything on the page, but the two things I want to point out, the first is the link to the SSIS Basics pre-recorded child protection training videos. And the second is the list of archived Coffee Talk presentations. And as mentioned just shortly, in the future, we hope to add that agenda so that you can have more details and find the information a lot easier. So we are going to move to the next slide. So the next couple slides, I'm just going to take you through how to access those pre-recorded vehicles. I must be thinking of a new car, right? Pre-recorded videos. So the first step is to click on that SSIS Basics for Child Protection Workers link on the SSIS Coffee Talk archive page. Next slide, or you can just, in that list there under SSIS training on our resource page, just click on the link there, the SSIS Basics for Child Protection Workers Overview, umn.edu link, and that too will take you to the pre-recorded videos. So this step 2 shows you the video, and not the full topic list, but it says SSIS 2 lab videos and SSIS 3 lab videos. Once you click on one of those options, next slide, please, that will bring you to a list of the available videos by topic. So this slide here is for the Classroom 2 lab, and you can see we have a host of video options. They're on demand. Folks can take them at any time. They don't have to watch them from start to finish. Maybe they just need a little piece of that video. They can watch what they need. It's just to really meet folks where they're at and to help the workers really just take away what they need. I'm not going to read that list, but there are 6 videos that are available for Classroom 2. And if we move to the next slide, this is the topic list for Classroom 3. And this is divided into 3 high-level topics, and there are several videos available beneath each. But one is structured decision-making tools. The next is the ICWA data entry in SSIS. And the third option is permanency. And as you can see on the screen, we have several videos. There are about 21 videos here. Great resources for workers to take. They're very short videos. So no one's sitting for any 45-minute session. They're very quick. Some as short as a couple minutes, and others are a little bit longer. So you may be in for 15 minutes or so. Next slide. So step 3 to access those videos is once you identify by clicking on the video you wish to view, click the plus sign, and then you click the play button, the play arrow, to watch the video. Next slide. Okay, so the next option that I identified for a resource is the SSIS Child Protection Permanency online training page. And this page contains a series of on-demand permanency e-learning modules that were created for new and current users. There is a list that you can see on the screen of all of the available training modules, everything from basic navigation, going through the permanency folder options. There's some client eligibility, monthly caseworker visit with the child in out-of-home placement. All you need to do is click on the link and press the play arrow to start watching the video and begin your learning. So another really quick and exciting, I mean, Ross, thank you for this. Exciting work that we have here, and I don't know that how many folks are really using this. So this too is a really good resource. All the options, the video options there. So let's move to the next slide. And the last resource that I'm going to talk about is the Minnesota Child Welfare Training Academy option on the resource page. So again, the Academy is our policy partners, if you will, and they focus primarily on child protection policy trainings, and this is inclusive of the new worker training, which was formerly the foundations training. There's an Indian Child Welfare Act, ICWA trainings that are available, as well as other specialized policy trainings. So make sure folks are coming out to this page, reading through the descriptions, and see which trainings are applicable to their work. Some of the trainings do contain SSIS instruction, but not all of the trainings will have that. So they may need to still double back and revisit some of the other shorter videos that we offered or that we offer on demand. So we have all of these resources available for you. And before I dive into any questions, I do want just a quick show of hands. How many of you have ever walked through all of those options that show up on our SSIS resource page? Just a show of hand, that hand emote, raise your hand or something with one of the emojis. Okay, that is fantastic. I'm seeing some familiar names too. So I like that, and some new names. I think this is a great opportunity, and you can take this PowerPoint back or share the recorded version of this with workers so that they can either double back, get a refresher on what they need to know, or if they're new to SSIS, they can find the information that they need to find. No more Google searching. I think we got you covered. So with that, I will take questions. Are there any questions? Anything else in the chat, Eric?
So not pertaining to child protection, but we do have a fiscal related question from Mary Doherty. And when we get to Carrie's section of this presentation, she's going to address those types of questions.
Okay, sounds good. Okay, with that, I will pass it on to Anna to share more about adult protection resources.
All right, thank you, Renetta. All right, so there are a couple of ways to access the adult protection SSIS resources. So on this slide, I have highlighted the worker documentation link. Next slide. So from the worker documentation link page, if you scroll down all the way to the adult maltreatment section, which is in alphabetical order, in this section, you will find the link for the Adult Protection SSIS User Guide. And then, so in this guide, it is updated quarterly. And it is published at around the same time as the SSIS statewide release date. Also in this section, you will find the documentation highlighting the quarterly updates of the SSIS user guide for adult protection. Next slide. Another way to access the adult protection resources from the resource page is by clicking on the SSIS Adult Protection Worker Training link. So from the SSIS Adult Protection Worker Training link, you will find the links to the Adult Protection User Guide, the Adult Protection e-learning suite, and the Adult Protection Policy Manual. Next slide. Also in this link or site, you will also find the training dates for the adult protection training. So here are our dates, and to register, please sign in and register using TrainLink. So regarding the training course, it follows the life of an adult case, starting with the intake received from the MARC report through the assessment and closing of a case. This training is a technical training designed to provide an overview of data entry, to Adult Protection Services into SSIS. We also have an adult protection policy staff that are available during each class. And the class is offered 2 half days, and it is designed for new workers, SSIS mentors, SSIS supervisor and managers, and for those seeking a refresher. All right, I think that's it. Any questions regarding the SSIS adult protection resources?
No questions. I still see people are paying attention. I saw some laugh emojis. It's over to you, Carrie.
Hello again. I first would like to address Mary's questions. So on the claim gender issue, we will need to look at the interface log to look at the transmission errors. You can see it on the interface log, as well as we would catch it on our side and contact you if there was a transmission error. And as far as she's wondering if the gender can be added on the claims tab or the client type detail, and adding the gender to the claim badges or claim search requires system changes that we are not currently have resources to support. We are researching solutions with min choices, and it will take some time before a resolution is known. The clearing log process described in the presentation should be used to ensure clients being cleared to the agency database has a valid gender selected for future claiming purposes. This is specific to clients that already exist in the state detail with a PMI number and the gender value as null. I hope that helps clear that up for you, Mary. On to my presentation. Coming soon, we will be hosting virtual trainings for the fiscal staff on targeted case management. These trainings will be more in-depth for fiscal aspect of each TCM program, the eligibility, proofing errors for healthcare claiming. The courses will be short virtual trainings between 1 to 2 hours. These series of trainings will start off with the CWTCM healthcare claiming. Stay tuned for more details and information on how to sign up. Training will be starting in early 2025. Next. There are some useful resources I wanted to point out on the SSIS resource page for fiscal staff. The resources include fiscal online training and fiscal documentation. The fiscal trainings have several e-learning modules for new and current workers, ranging from service arrangements, payments, healthcare claiming, reports, and more. What is nice about these e-learning modules is that they are on demand, so you can view when it works for your schedule. On the fiscal documentation page, there is an array of useful documents on topics including admin, biz org, COAs, exclusions, general fiscal, healthcare claiming, payments, service arrangements, and state reports. Any questions, or I will pass it on to Jason.
Hey, Russ, a couple hands up I see.
Can you give them the ability to speak?
One moment. I do not see any hands on my end. Maybe people accidentally hit it instead of the emoji. is what I'm assuming.
Ashley Straw. Okay, then let's move on to Jason then.
Sorry about that.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Jason Dalrymple, one of the e-learning instructional designers with the user support group, and just wanted to talk about some changes that are coming up with the SSIS Essentials that have been, believe it or not, in effect since 2018. So we're coming up, we've been working on these for 6 years now. And after some surveys that went out to the mentors, coordinators, supervisors, and to our agency staff, we took all of that into account and started looking at redesigning the essentials. And as a result, we've gone through and made some significant changes that hopefully will be really welcome and take all of your suggestions into account, because they were great suggestions. So we're going to make the changes that you've asked for and keep the things that you all liked, which is two of the most important things that we want to do. And they're also taking into account a lot of the adult learning principles we talked about, as well as some of the general principles of what we as a learning and development team are looking at. So a couple of the broad overview changes we're looking at is that we're going to be moving from a 6-course meal. If you want to back up, Ross, if you could. We're going from a 6-course meal to a 9-course meal. So instead of just 6 courses, we're going to have a blend of courses that you're used to, as well as some videos. We are removing the requirement to take all the courses in order. You'll be able to take any of the courses or videos in any order that you like. The materials will cover a broader lens, meaning that they won't be as focused with a child protection focused lens. They'll be broader so that all staff will benefit from the course materials, and won't be in a course and be like, well, this doesn't apply to me. I don't do this. So that you'll be able to provide it to more staff. The other piece is that we're going to simplify the navigation a little bit. One of the big things that came up, especially with the agency staff, was some struggles with navigation. So we're going to simplify that, broaden the ability to navigate by choice, and we'll look at that in a little bit too. And the other piece of it is we're going to move away from the standard quiz structure where you get to the end of the course and you have to answer 10 questions and get 8 of those 10 questions right in order to move on to the next course, etc. So if we want to move on to the next slide, we can take a look at that change in structure. So if we look on the left-hand side, we've got the current curriculum, which is the 6 courses, the introduction, person search, intake and work group search, etc. Whereas on the right-hand side, we're looking at a new curriculum. We're keeping the courses that you requested that we keep, but we're also breaking some of them out. If you notice that in the previous curriculum, we had 103 intake and work group search together. We've split those out into 103 and 105 intake and work group search and put 104 into the middle. So that intake search is a more cohesive piece, so that we're looking at intakes collectively rather than having intakes and work groups put together, then going back to intake. So there's a little bit more fluidity there. We've also broken out things like time reporting as a subject. So we'll be looking at time reporting separate from the chronology. And we're also splitting up data cleanup from alerts and reminders. So it looks like it's more, but it's not. There's going to be a little bit less time that you're going to have to take because, again, we're broadening the lens. So it's not going to be as specific, but there will still be similar amounts of information and similar amounts of knowledge and learning available in each of the courses. So that's what the new curriculum is going to look like. 9 modules with, again, a mix of courses and videos available. So moving on to the navigation piece, this is going to be the big thing, is that the navigation piece is and the really important aspect of this is going to be the new menu page. When you start a course, you'll get a few pages that you will be required to go through before getting to this menu page in some cases. But once you land on this page, You're going to be able to navigate to any section of the course at your will. You'll be able to use any of these menu buttons to navigate to any section of the course, and then come back to this page and navigate to any section of the course again. You'll also be able to use that home button that you'll be able to see in the bottom left-hand corner to return to this page. You'll also have the table of contents, which will allow you to view your progress as well as jump from one section to the other. So let's say, using this example, you're viewing the initial screen elements section. If you want to jump from there and just look at how to log off, you'll be able to open the table of contents and jump to the section on logging off. For those who prefer a more linear progress in a course, you still have the traditional next and back buttons, which will take you through the course in a linear fashion. Additionally, this page will also provide any information on what's required in order to get full credit for the course. The courses still do have full credit requirements in order to get completion status in TrainLink, but you're not required to complete a course before moving on to the next one. So what that means is that at any point in time, you can go into any course that you want, take any section you want, and exit the course. And it's not necessarily going to hurt or help your transcript in TrainLink. You can take what you need, when you need it, why you need it. So you're in full control of what you're learning when you want to learn it. So if you want to go ahead and move on to the last slide, we'll talk a little bit about some of the changes in the activity. So traditionally with e-learning, you end with a quiz. However, one of the things that was really important and that came out in as one of the favorite parts of the Essentials courses was the interactivity. We're going to maintain that and get rid of the quiz, the traditional quiz path. And we're going to make sure that you're getting into doing. So in these three examples, we've got in the top left, we've got a section where you're going to be using the client search option and having to find specific information and complete 3 searches where you'll be guided through the process of how to use those searches. The piece that's going to be important here is that you'll be able to complete that activity without having to do any of the rest of the course. You'll be able to go into the course and select that activity as the section to jump straight to. That's, again, part of that free navigation and the choice to do it whichever way you want to. The top right-hand side, again, is a walkthrough section on how to create a new activity in chronology. That, again, is going to be a section where instead of having to learn about and then tell me or tell how to create an activity, you'll be walked through the process and given all the options for how to complete that process. The middle slide is where we have a little bit of extra fun, and instead of a quiz and instead of just a plain activity, we're going to add a little bit of gamification. And in that case, that's going to be a little bit of a surprise when you get to the intake search that I'm going to leave a little bit of mystery to, but you might be able to guess just from the text that's on the screen. So those are the big pieces of the SSIS Essentials that's going to be changing. You know, the big focus on keeping the activity and the interactivity that was so appreciated in the feedback that we received, updating that navigation to give you more freedom of choice, removing prerequisites, giving you more choice on how, when, and what you want to learn at any point in time, and stretching those courses out so that they're a little bit smaller, more bite-sized, and a little easier to take. So those we're looking at getting out to you coming soon to an e-learning and TrainLink site near you. And with that, I'm going to close out and pass it on to Radio Ross to finish us off.
Thanks, Jason. Hello, this is Ross, one of the e-learning instructional designers, and my coming soon edition here is the SSIS New Mentor e-learning series. So as you can see on this slide, we're giving you what the modules or the topics are going to be about when you go into the New Mentor e-learning series. The great thing again about this e-learning series is just like my counterparts have been talking throughout the whole presentation here is that you can take these different modules or topics in the order that you wish, and you don't have to take all of them. You can just kind of take what you need when you need it. So that's the way adult learners work best, is when they have a need, they can go in, find what they need, learn it, and get out without having to eat up additional things that they don't want. So the modules are going to be introduction to the new mentor, general navigation and SSIS, the SSIS admin part 1, and SSIS admin part 2, the tools, and then data integrity. Some of these modules are currently in final review, so you will see coming soon on the SSIS resource page an additional link that probably will say something about new mentor e-learning series. So keep an eye out for that, and we hope that you'll enjoy these as well as the rest of the training that we have talked about in this presentation. So that's it for my slide. Is there any other questions about anything so far before we kind of close out and give you the final couple of bits of information? Anything you see coming in the comments there, Eric?
Nope, I am perched and ready to answer any questions that come in. Cassie
All right.
seems really excited about the new mentor trainings, and also very excited about the new redesign for the SSIS essentials. So
Nice. All right. So next slide is about the SSIS resource page. Wow, I don't think we've covered anything about this so far, so I'm not going to cover a lot about this. We see, well, we are really kind of focusing you on where to find your resources and where you can send your agency folks that are looking for help. Send them here, because we can help them with many of the requests that they have by them being able to come to this SSIS resource page, and in the future to the Engagement HQ site, which will hopefully make it a little bit easier for them to find what they want as well. So direct folks to the SSIS resource page. Also, if you need more information regarding this coffee talk, you can still reach out to our SSIS help desk, our partner team under Eric as well. And to view this coffee talk or any previous coffee talk webinar recordings, you can go to the Minnesota Child Welfare Training Academy website, which is a link on this page as well. Our next November coffee talk, set the date, is going to be an SSIS statewide release 24.4. So set Tuesday, November 19th aside at 9 a.m. so you can spend the morning with us and learn about that release information. And this will give you one last chance to send in any questions if you have them about this presentation for today. Otherwise, we want to thank you for spending the morning with us. Hope you got a lot out of this, and we'll see you next time. Stay golden, Minnesota. Radio Ross out.